Get all your bodily noises out now. We're recording. So, fuckers, might as well talk about the big story right now. Oh, that got weird. Mike's getting weird. Mike's getting weird.
Where you going, Mike?
Trying to find my best angle.
That's not it.
Oh, there's a camera off button.
Oh.
Boom. Got him.
You burnt.
Sick burn, Mike.
Anyway, what's the big news, Cody?
So HBO Go, well, Warner Media, technically, announced today that they will be releasing their entire slate of 2021 movies day and date with theaters and on HBO Max. There'll be basically a 31-day window when they will be released on the streaming service the same day it hits theaters. And I say this,
what does it mean by 31-day window?
So what it basically means is the day it launches. So say it starts on January. The movie starts in theaters on January 1st, right? It also will start streaming on HBO Max for the entire month for 31 days. So and
then it comes out, and then it comes off of HBO Max.
Yes, it will come off HBO Max, go back and be in a regular release window for theaters, and then eventually will come out on digital platforms to sell as well as to rent, and then eventually probably hit HBO Max again and be there for as long as they would normally keep it there, I guess. The crazy part about this isn't like movies they think may not do good. Right? So isn't there like, oh, you know what? Maybe a draw like Godzilla versus Kong won't be that big in theaters, so we'll put it on. We'll do both. This is literally all of everything. This is Suicide Squad. This is, everything that's a big release is hitting HBO Max day of theater release for 31 days, which is insane.
Which is really awesome. It starts with Wonder Woman, which comes out in the next couple of weeks, right?
So it's on Christmas Day.
What was that?
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. The only thing that kind of sucks is when was the next release, though? It was almost another month or two away after that.
I had the list up a minute ago, and it disappeared from where I was clicking at.
But there are a lot of awesome movies on there,
yourselves.
Some of which that I can remember, which were Godzilla versus King Kong, obviously Wonder Woman, the next Conjuring movie, Suicide Squad,
Matrix 4.
Matrix 4.
Matrix 4, didn't even see that one, Jesus.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's real strange, but in like the best way possible.
Right? Now, the question would be, for us, at the very least, we do have limited theater availability here.
Yeah.
Would we still go see some of these in theaters?
The bigger ones I would say yes to.
I definitely want to see Dune. We've had that conversation.
Yeah, Dune.
Right, Dune was another one, yeah.
The ones that and I was going to bring this up too. I don't know if anyone else harkens emails and stuff. They're now doing private rentals with specific movies.
Screenings.
Yeah, and they're anywhere from and the email says anywhere from $99 to $149.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, for the four of us, that's not so bad. Yeah.
But
for some of us, they handle it all themselves. Rich Cody.
True.
Is that
well, if you factor in Jen and Paige, that
Yeah.
brings down the price per individual even lower.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Them too.
And maybe we invite Adam. Maybe. I said maybe.
I mean, that's a definite maybe just because of work and school
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
I'd legitimately have to do it on the weekend or take a day off. So.
But you can do it.
Well,
You
that's right,
can
you work
pick
like 3
a.
jobs.
But you can pick a showtime to rent out, so that you can go ahead and you can look at it and be like, "Oh, I want to do a 7:30 or whatever it is," and you choose it, and you just rent out that theater. You're not doing a special theater with the movie you pick. You're literally picking screenings that day to just rent the theater. It was really weird because you can look it up. I'll send you a link if you guys don't have the email later. You just choose the movie, choose the day, and then it gives you the available showtimes. And they look like regular showtimes that the normal movie would have during the day, and you have to do it within before 6 hours of the showtime to reserve the theater. And you can just gobble it up. I'm guessing if someone already has a ticket to that screening of that time, you just don't get a chance to have that as an option.
It makes sense.
I was like, God damn, that's insane. But I was like, when it comes to something like that, we could do that for those bigger ones that we make sure we don't have any weirdos in our theater. Be like, yes, it's going to be us. Boom. I think it's pretty cool.
It's cool. I don't know. Just the price point of it, it's a little bit too high for me individually, especially if I can sit at home and watch the show.
Yeah.
Cody will spot you.
Yeah, I got you.
Cody will spot me?
Yeah.
He'll be like, there he is over there. Hey, where's my money, bitch?
Whoa.
The draw, I would say, are the movies like Dune that you really do need to see in a theater.
But nothing's preventing us from seeing it in the theater right now.
Whether in the state of
whether or not
our
rent
out our own
out
spot.
theater or not. And I don't know if
So-
I care to rent out the theater. I mean,
What's the going rate for a ticket these days? I can't remember. It's been a while.
if like $9 to $13 depending on showing.
Yeah.
And
The most
what-
expensive, the prime time like Cine ones are like I think $18 or something like that, right? Like they're
Yeah.
expensive. Like the after matinee Cine ones are always a
So
little expensive.
if the entirety of our group goes and it's splitting the difference, Cody, you said it was 99 to 149.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 129 divided by what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. That's including Adam.
Sure.
$18, $18.50.
So it equates out about to as one ticket.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't taking in the comfort of being able to watch the movie naked. Like they worth it, right? Because nobody else is coming in. It's just us, and like
That is not good.
You just want to see me naked?
whatever. You know what I mean?
That is the opposite of comfortable for me.
Yeah. That's disturbing.
All right, whatever. Right.
Party pooper.
Captain Positive over here just got shot down. Whatever, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm just being honest.
Like that's not the type of private screening that they had in mind.
I don't want to see little
this. This is private screening, not private screening.
Yeah, it's a
I don't want to see your private.
real big difference there, bud.
One little S changes everything.
One little thing changes
One little.
everything.
Wow, one little thing, Joe. That's a bit mean. He's still in the conversation, bud.
Yeah, whatever.
So
But at the same time, I mean, they've been doing things well enough where they space things out. Like if I go with you guys, I end up sitting pretty much alone, which is kind of cool anyway. So I got that, elbow space, to work with. And I'm not. You're usually. I mean, the past few times that we've gone, there's only been like 3 or 4 other people in the theater. And especially if you're going to something like a Cine One, which you're getting much better audio, much better video experience. Those people are sitting usually pretty far away from you that they're not really that bothersome.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not like
the
a
whole theater out to me. I still just don't really. It's a cool idea, but I just don't really see the value to it.
$15 Cine One adult after 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Extra $3. A whole lot less people.
It also kind of depends on do we want to go on a Tuesday morning? You know what I mean? Like we could probably get in there and only deal with a couple other people. You know what I mean?
True.
Right.
Depending on when we go, if we were just go to regular. Yeah.
Did you finally get that list, Cody?
Yeah, I got it right here in the front of me.
What is the full list and what days?
All right, so we will go in order of release date when I did not realize one of these was this soon. So that's weird. So Mortal Kombat actually comes out January 15th, 2021.
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I didn't realize that was ready to go.
I didn't know that was ready to be made.
They've been filming it. I didn't realize it was ready to go in theaters. Yeah.
Is this an actual legit sequel to other?
This is a reboot.
Or is this a remake, reimagining?
Reboot. This is all new, everything. No Christopher Lambert.
It's called Mortal Kombat.
It's called Mortal Kombat.
Me.
Anyway, continue down the list.
A movie called The Little Things, January 29th, 2021. The Tom and Jerry movie, or Tom and Jerry as it's called, releases in March. Another movie called The Many Saints of Newark comes out March 12th, which is, right after Tom and Jerry, so not giving that too much time. Something called Reminiscence, which, again, I don't know anything about. A lot of these are movies we haven't seen trailers yet for because they probably were supposed to be out sometime this year. Then we have Godzilla vs. Kong on May 21st.
So not until May that you reach a movie that I really want to watch. After Wonder Woman here.
After Wonder Woman, right?
I think
and Tom and Jerry I might, but yeah.
Then we have June 4th, we have The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Definitely want to see that.
Maybe nice to see that in home just in case it's terrible, you know what I mean?
They haven't been terrible, though.
No, I'm just saying, just in case. We have In the Heights, June 18th, 2021. And, of course, that is the adaptation of the play written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, which is, after the success of Hamilton is probably going to be pretty popular.
Pretty much everything he touches right now is gold.
Oh, for sure. July 16th, we have Space Jam, A New Legacy.
Forgot about that.
August 6th, we have The Suicide Squad. October 1st, we have Dune. Something called King Richard on November 19th, which I don't know what it is, but I think it's about soccer because the picture they have has a soccer net, or it looks to be a soccer net. Could be a volleyball net, but it looks like soccer net. December 22nd, you have Matrix 4. And then, as of right now, the ones that don't have actual release dates are a movie called Those Who Wish Me Dead, Malignant, Judas and the Black Messiah, Cry Macho, and I believe that is it. That was all of them. Cry Macho is the new movie from Clint Eastwood, for the folks who don't know.
I thought you were going to say the Macho Man biopic starring Joe Manganiello.
No, but I would be excited if that was what that was.
What was that first one that you said?
Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat?
No, with no release date.
Oh.
Let me scroll back down there. Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Yeah, that sounds like Nicolas Cage is in it. That's definitely a...
Or Steven Seagal.
No,
not anymore.
Not anymore. That idiot, he's done.
Oh,
Nick Cage still grinding it out.
Well, yeah, he has to pay off all that debt.
That's what happens when you buy fucking
dinosaur skulls and
shit.
Fucking mansions and shit.
Fucking remains.
Sorry to disappoint you, Mike. It does not have Nicolas Cage in it. Doesn't have Nick Cage in it either. It has
Speaking
Angelina
of things that are
Jolie.
Disappointing. What'd you learn about Mortal Kombat?
Nothing. It's a lot of familiar cast, like people that you've seen like play fucking martial art people in other movies. But other than that, I don't really recognize anybody. But there's no like stills or anything on any website that I found, so I couldn't find any pictures or character profiles or anything like that.
So, promoting stuff that's about to come out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those sneaky ones, man.
those sneaky ones that they never promote and just release and just hold on to the property because now they can hold on to it again.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has anything to do with that. Wasn't there like, a couple of years ago there was that short? Somebody made a Mortal Kombat shorts online.
It does not have to do with that.
It doesn't?
No. But this is being produced by James Wan. That's one of his
Aquaman fame.
Okay.
Yeah. It's I mean, technically Saw fame, really, if you want to go back far enough. But yeah, this is one of his many movies he has under his contract with Warner. Is this one? Probably the most notable person that anyone, if you look through anybody who's in it, is going to be Ludi Lin, who was in the Power Rangers reboot in 2017.
I don't know her. But James Wan, though, that's got me interested.
Yeah, he's not directing it, though. He's just producing it.
Oh, he's just producing it?
Yeah.
A little less interested.
I figured you would.
I mean, there's the interest that he's, if he were directing it, it'd be like a pure interest, but he's just only producing it, which means that he's only putting money into it. Yeah, he probably has some say in it a little bit, but, less interest.
But if it's on HBO Max, you would watch it.
I mean, if I had nothing else to do that day.
See what I'm saying?
31 days.
We have 31 days, so you have plenty of time to
31 days.
Sneak in there and get it. One of these, did I look up? I looked up one of these because it sounded familiar, but I don't remember which one it was. But I want to say it's Malignant. Was the one I was looking at before. Nope.
What do you think was familiar about it?
I want to say it was from somebody that I usually watch their movies. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one directed by James Wan. I was right. That's the one I was thinking of. The one that nobody really knows about.
Oh, directed and story by James Wan.
Yeah.
I don't really recognize anybody in the cast.
Yeah, me either. It was just something I guess he's been wanting to make for a while, and the poster is pretty gnarly looking.
I can tell this is going to be a pet project of his, directed by, produced by, story by.
It's only an hour and 14 minutes long.
Upcoming American horror film directed by James Wan from screenplay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there really isn't much of an idea of what it is about.
Oh.
At least not on Wikipedia.
And no trailers?
No, there's just a teaser for it. Here's a description, though, I haven't seen before. It says a young woman is abducted and forced into a twisted game show where fighting back against vicious creators comes with a terrifying price.
So it's Saw.
Yeah, but fucked up sounding.
Sounds like Saw crossed with Running Man.
Yeah, like I was going to say, it's more Running Man, because game show is definitely no. Oh, Running Saw. That's funny.
I might be out. I don't really care for the Saw movies.
You're going to watch it.
Nah, I won't.
You will. You'll be like, oh,
nah, I won't.
I'll watch that just because I'm bored.
I'd watch that for $1.
Ha! He RoboCopped us. But anyways, that was the biggest news story I saw, because I was pretty. To say a whole year's slate of movies is going to, stream as well as theater the same day is pretty massive for a company as large as Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with larger properties, Matrix 4, The Suicide Squad, Dune, In the Heights, Space Jam, Godzilla vs. Kong. Those are just a handful, and those are pretty large properties to be thrown on, onto streaming, and not even a premium. Like, you're not paying extra for it. It's just like Wonder Woman is, where it's on the service for 31 days, and you get to watch it as much as you want for that in that time frame.
Not that I have any doubt that they'll be able to pull this off successfully, but do you think that there might be some server issues like day one of some of those bigger movies?
Well, we're gonna find out on Christmas Day with
On the
Wonder Woman.
25th?
Yeah, because that shit's gonna be fucking popping. And the best part is they're stopping the free preview of HBO Max. All of them will end the 24th, so you have to subscribe to be able to see Wonder Woman. I thought was pretty clever.
That is pretty clever. No, I don't honestly think there's going to be any issues with it.
The only way there'd be issues with it if they only gave like a 5-hour window to watch the movie. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
if everyone had to watch it at the same time.
Yeah, when you have it at home, it's like, and it's ready for you, you're gonna, at your leisure, grab some dinner, go home, fuck off for a little bit, and then turn it on when you're ready. There's no, like, I have to be home watching it right now. It's not a live event,
Yeah, it's not a time-gated thing. I mean, other than 31 days, but it's not a, watch it between 5 p.m. and midnight type thing. But, pretty substantial. And, of course, the internet's blown up about, like, why isn't Disney and other streaming services do this? I'm like, well, because they don't really have to at this point.
No, this is a very unproven model.
Yeah, like, this could fail miserably for them.
Yeah, they could lose tons of money on
I was
this.
gonna say, financially, because people will certainly watch it, but from the financial aspect, unless people start signing up in droves, it could hurt.
I could imagine a thing coming January 1st or something where it's like a discounted year, like, hey, get it for a year and get guaranteed to watch these movies in your home type thing, and it would probably drive up subscriptions for at least a year, just to get to be able to watch these movies and all the other stuff that's on HBO Max, because there's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
But it would be a pretty good marketing way of doing it, like, hey, because you can still, I think, because it's 31 days for Wonder Woman, so you'll have until, a good chunk of January you can still watch it on there, so there'll be a lot more people, interested in doing and watching it at home and stuff like that. And the fact now they've fully released that Wonder Woman will be in 4K with HDR and supporting Dolby Atmos and everything, so that's pretty cool. Because at first when it came out, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be 1080p only. I was like, it seems weird.
That would seem really weird. I wouldn't think that they would do that to their movies.
Yeah, especially something that big and that, that well publicized. They're not going to be like, oh, let's just...
We're not going to
go
present
down.
our best movies in the not crappiest, but like downgrade them for some reason and give you a worse viewing experience at your house to try and drive you to go to see it in the theaters when a lot of the country can't even actually go to theaters.
Yeah, a lot of the country cannot go to theaters.
It'd be dumb. It'd be dumb.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just interesting to see. I guess, like I said, we'll see when one of them comes out on Christmas. Because I think with one of the things is, like, I was thinking is, like, how, like, a lot of movies, not big movies like Wonder Woman, but, like, there's a lot of movies, we'll say, like, the Godzilla King of the Monsters, that did fairly well at the theaters, but when it hit digital and, like, home release, like, everyone was talking about it like it was this great big thing, you know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see how many more people are attracted to these bigger movies on a streaming service than they are in theaters. Like Joe was saying, an unproven model. I really wonder if it's going to be a successful thing right out the gate, or we have to wait till like halfway through the year when another big tentpole movie comes out. But when it comes to movies like Mortal Kombat, if it's good and it's on the streaming services, does that drive someone to go see it in the theater? If it has what could be good visuals, would you go out and spend, $10-15 or matinee for like $7 or whatever to go see it in theaters? Just per se.
I think this type of model will work better for those types of movies that most people probably won't go see in theaters.
Yeah.
They wouldn't go pay money to go see it, but you're already paying for a streaming service and suddenly it's there. Why not watch it? A lot of these movies for me will probably end up in that case, Mortal Kombat, Tom and Jerry. I would never go see those in theaters, even if I would like the Tom and Jerry movie more than Mortal Kombat. But I have it on streaming. Yeah, I'm probably actually going to watch it.
That's what I'm talking
And it
about.
just helps movies, I would say, like Wonder Woman and The Matrix and whatnot. It gives people the ability to watch it. People that would normally wait until it's in the cheaper theaters can now watch it right away as well.
That, and it'll give credence, or it might boost digital sales, on the back end, because if you see it and you really liked it, I mean, I have to imagine that they're not going to put it right back on HBO Max when they pull it from theaters. So that's going to, give credence to buying it digitally.
Right.
I think too. I think this is actually a unique situation that a lot of studios are actually probably happy to take the loss this year because of COVID kind of forcing their hand a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was the route we were eventually going to go at anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we might have been 10 years out from really fucking like being full onto it, but I think we were in the minority. Like, us as a group and our, we go to movies every week. We went to movies every single week, I was, sometimes more than one a week, but on average, probably once a week we went to a movie. Other people don't do that. Like, the vast majority of the population don't do that, like, at all. Like, I have family members and friends who've been like, I haven't been to a movie in like, and they would like couldn't remember the last movie, like talking to them or like being like, oh, I think I saw that in theaters. That might have been the last. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't with like us prior to COVID. It was like, oh, we saw whatever last week. We saw whatever like a month ago. Tops is as long as we would ever go without seeing a movie in theaters. So I think it sucks for like people like us who want to go. Like, I want to go see it on a giant screen. I want to have the proper, no light, good sound, everything the way you're supposed to see it. But that's why we don't get, sequels and franchises now anyway, because it's the last proven commodity. Like, when's the last time a drama or like a courtroom drama made money in theaters? You know what I mean? Like, it's never going to do it again. Never, ever again. So I think Warner Brothers is smart to kind of like, well, we have an excuse, we're taking a huge loss this year, no matter what we do anyway. So let's test this out, work out some of the kinks, and maybe we can be the first ones to fine tune it and offer that same day movie theater streaming service thing, whether in the future, if it comes to like, because everyone's going to have their own streaming service. So say HBO Max has $7 a month, standard streaming, but if you jump to $10 a month, you get the same day release too as theaters. There could be a lot of situations like that. So I actually think it's just speeding up what was, probably inevitable and was going to be like this way in 5-10 years anyway. But I think it's cool, man, because I'm a weirdo though. Like, I'll watch something for free, and if I thought it was dope, like, I'll go and I'll be like, yeah, I really want to see this in theaters. So you know what I mean? So it would drive me to theaters more than it wouldn't. So
yeah, and that's what I mean. Is like, and I use Mortal Kombat as a point, but I mean, obviously, probably not the greatest one to do. But like, if I watched Godzilla or Kong or Godzilla versus Kong, and I'm like, well, it actually looked pretty cool, I'd probably want to go see it, with theater sound on a big screen. Like when we saw Godzilla King of Monsters, go see it on the biggest screen possible because it's a spectacle to see that way. But I don't know, it's interesting because we are in that time frame, like Mike was saying, is like we're in a shortening window of release window in theaters anyways. Like, if a movie doesn't do what it needs to in that first 2 or 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. it's not gonna, it's very rarely gonna come out and get a sequel if one hasn't already been, completely, utterly said yes, we're gonna do it.
And there's been times where digitally, like, things have been saved digitally and on streaming services and gotten second life because of the after theater releases on it. And I just think, like, the studios are probably thinking, like, this has been going this way anyway. The easiest way to get eyes on your product is to put it on a streaming service. And it's gonna, I mean, fucking Adam Sandler movies. Like, I watched all these shitty, funny, but shitty Adam Sandler movies on Netflix. Like, I wasn't gonna go to the theater on all of them. Some of them I would have, but not all of them. Like, The Ridiculous Six, I've seen that twice just because it's on Netflix. I was never gonna go to the movie theater and watch it. Like, Hubie Halloween, I wasn't gonna go watch that in theaters, but I watched it at home and it was funny. So I think this, like I said, this was already headed this way, and so I think it's cool that everybody was gonna wait for the first one, like because early on people were like, well, do we release it and only let you rent it for 20 or rent it for, like, how do we do it? People were testing the waters, and so everyone was kind of waiting for that first announcement of, yeah, we're just releasing everything streaming and, no extra starts, 30 days. So now there's a blueprint. So I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2-3 months, you're going to start hearing all the other studios do something very similar to this, because they're going to see how Wonder Woman does and whatever the next big one was, see how that one does. And then they're going to, let all the pieces fall and start announcing very similar plans for everybody.
Yeah, because even with Disney, I mean, the premium, they weren't the first one to do in theaters on streaming as well, because Universal did it first with, like, Invisible Woman and a couple other movies at the beginning of the year, where you could get them at home and they were like $30 or $25 to rent at home as well as being in theaters. But then Disney came out with Mulan and it was like, here's a premium price tag. I think it was too much for home, but that's just me. I mean, $30 for,
but
all those
people,
prices.
Yeah.
But we're also looking at it as essentially single or two-person households. You know what I mean? Like, Mulan's a family movie, and they're, a set of parents with 3 kids who have to take, go to a movie theater is going to cost them way more than $30 for that night out. And so, like, those families, like, my uncle has his wife and 3 daughters living at home, and he fucking loved the fact that all these movies are coming out, because it would have cost him $100 to take everyone out to the movie theater and get them all something to snack on, and now he pays $30 and he doesn't have to go anywhere and they can order pizza. You know what I mean? Like, it's way cheaper. Like, it's us. We're not really the demographic that these people are looking for, because they're gonna make their money off of families, especially for those type of movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I would have thought that they just would have reached more people. I'm not going to spend $30, $25 on a movie that's basically rental. $15 is a bit more reasonable because it's the price of a movie ticket.
Yeah, but I mean,
I get what you're saying, that more.
And it was eventually going to end up there eventually. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
And
it's something that they try. Maybe they try something different next time.
Yeah, everyone's trying shit. They're all throwing shit at the wall right now because they don't know what the fuck to do, because nobody expected this time last year that the whole fucking world was going to be fucked in a terrible place. And
nobody but the Simpsons.
I mean, they got it, but
those some bitches.
Yeah, you can't just, you never know when the Simpsons are going to strike, you know what I mean? So you can't plan out for when they nailed some kind of weird prediction.
Like that new one where they just did with the mayor of Miami?
No, yeah. So that was Mayor Quimby. So the episode, I was just reading about it myself just before we started here. The episode, sometime in season 4, I think it is, a flu outbreak happens in Springfield, and part of that was Quimby was saying, "Hey, everybody has to stay at home." Has to, basically quarantine themselves. And it turns out that he's actually not at home. He's vacationing in he's vacationing somewhere. He's recording this from the vacation spot.
Mar-a-Lago.
No, the real life situation is that the mayor of Houston, I think it is.
Oh, was it Houston?
Was saying that, hey, you guys, the people of Houston have to, wear masks, have to stay indoors, don't congregate with a lot of people, blah blah blah. And it turns out he's literally doing this from vacation in San Juan or something like that. And it's like, really? And then apparently the same episode, you have Dr. Herbert talking to people about how it's really simple, how you just, you can't, there's nothing to prescribe for this thing. People just have to stay at home, have to, stay away from other people. And the people of Springfield were all up in arms about that. They didn't want to wear masks or anything. And it rolls into people screaming that they want the placebo. Dr. Herbert was like, all I could do is prescribe you placebo, and but that wouldn't do anything. So people start rioting, saying that they want this placebo. They tip over a van. The van happens to be holding killer bees, and all these killer bees get out, also mirroring the murder hornets that have appeared this year.
And something about toilet paper too, right? Wasn't there like a big thing about like, should we get like toilet paper or something?
There might have been. Those are the only two clips of that episode that I saw.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, good Lord, the Simpsons are from the future.
Well, I think the Simpsons just write about what is going on at the time. The problem is things are just cyclical. The problem is that they just seem to keep ramping up every time they come back around. I mean, we talk about the protests over the last year, but you forget about all the protests that have happened over the past 20 years where LA is literally burned, where Ferguson is literally burned. And they're all
some of that stuff,
the same things.
Some of that stuff is a bit more specific, like the Donald Trump stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they legitimately hit nail on head that could not be considered cyclical either.
Donald Trump wins the presidency, and he's in The Simpsons. He's coming down the elevator of Trump Tower, and literally, what do you have when he becomes president in real life? He's traveling down the escalator at Trump Tower.
Mannerisms, all that stuff it's crazy.
I think also the key too is like The Simpsons. They write from a point of like their characters just do the common sense thing of knowing that we, especially as Americans, are kind of selfish and stubborn and stupid. And just like any situation that they write in the show, they write the whole fucking thing based on like, more than likely everybody's gonna act like idiots. So this is what we'll end up doing. And like, that's just that's more of a just knowing who your audience is and knowing what the future's gonna be.
That, and they've had 50,000 years worth of episodes, and you're bound to get something right within that amount of episodes.
Yeah, man. Me and Jen did the math the other night of like, if we were to watch 2 a night every day, like it's gonna take us over a year to catch up, and that's not accounting for anything that adds on in the next year.
Where you can't get to it every day.
Yeah. So now we have a mandatory 2 a night. We're trying to knock this bitch out in just over a year.
What season are you up to?
9.
Up to 9.
9, son.
Can we just acknowledge how the tangent of talking about, movies in theater and all that took us to The Simpsons?
Nah.
It's always going to happen.
It's with you three for sure.
The Simpsons are everything. They're in everything.
You three. What do you mean?
Three.
You three.
I mean, I haven't watched
us three. Is that what you mean?
I haven't watched a Simpsons episode in probably about 4 years. So
it seems like a mistake that you made.
I've been watching the newest episodes.
Man, that's so weird to me. The new episodes. You have so many old ones to watch, man.
Well, I've watched all the old episodes.
Yeah, he's actually consistently watched.
I have. I've consistently watched The Simpsons, and even when I kind of stopped watching for a year or so, I still went back and watched. Eventually, went back and watched those episodes.
Disney Plus did a cool thing of putting a little subdivision of all the Simpson Christmas episodes together.
Yeah, they did it for Halloween too.
Yeah, and then and even some of their shows that those Disney Channel shows, bunching all the Christmas episodes together so people can just go and watch those. And I was like, y'all people are weak. Start from the beginning, work through it, show some dedication.
Right, start from the beginning.
Yeah, Joe did 38 years ago.
That first season, we had this discussion before about how depressing that first season and weird depressing that first season was. And I remember that, but going back and watching that, I made it only 5 episodes in, and it was man, this is
Homer tries to
rough.
kill himself. Marge cheats on Homer, or all but cheats on Homer. The kids run away, and he loses his job and goes broke. That's all in the first 7 episodes, man.
Yeah.
They're trying to send you right off the cliff too.
Yeah, they're y'all like cartoons for happiness, right? Well, fuck
Right.
you.
That's no, that's why I'm going to stay with the new episodes. They're so much brighter. They're what I'm used to. They're a warm blanket, to curl up and watch.
I know people talk about season 7, and when I got to season 7, I was excited because everyone talks about 7, 7, 8, 9 or something like that being the prime years. But everyone mentioned season 7 as being one of the best, but literally, I think there was one episode in season 7 where I was like, that episode was just okay. Every other fucking episode was amazing. It was one of those things where it's been so long since I seen it that I was like, oh, it's this episode, and then something else has happened. I was like, shit, that happened in this episode too? The same episode as this other shit happened? It was every episode. It was something fantastic. So you should at least watch season 7, is what I'm saying. Taj.
Yeah.
If you want to watch The Simpsons again, just go to the glory days.
Straight to season 7.
Yeah, dude. It's worth it. You won't regret it. It's the best. Might be the best season of TV I've ever seen.
Wow. That's saying something.
That is a big statement.
That's a bold statement, yes.
Yeah. I said it without thinking, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sticking to it.
It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Speaking of season 7, Taj, did you watch The Mandalorian?
Yes. I'm caught up. I'm all caught up.
Ah, sweet baby Jesus. Let's talk about this shit.
No, his name's Grogu.
Grogu. And for the love of God, I heard Grogu the first 5 times that they said it, and then I'm like, wait, that might be there's an enunciation that Rosario Dawson does Ahsoka does at that point. I'm like, oh shit, that's a G. Grogu.
Yep.
Yeah, this ain't no Mandalorian Z.
Got him. Fucking got him. So anyways, what did everyone think of that episode?
I absolutely love that episode. To me, that's the best episode I've watched so far. First season, second season, just the style of it was so slick, so samurai western type of aesthetic to it, with just the lamps constantly just swaying back and forth, the dust everywhere, the mystique and mysteriousness of that they created within it, and just the architecture of all the buildings, and it was so good to look at, so much fun to watch. The fact that you got, I never watched any Star Wars Rebels, was it that she appears in?
Goodness gracious, watch that shit.
Yeah, what she appeared in Rebels.
Well, Clone Wars and Rebels.
Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars and Rebels. It's like towards the end of Rebels, but all of Clone Wars pretty much.
So I learned of her character a little bit going into it. I knew that she was appearing in it, obviously, because they announced her the episode before. But to see her, Rosario Dawson, play it in real life versus what the actual character, what the character looked like in the cartoon series and in the anime series, so spot on. Like, they did such a good job with her. It was amazing. I absolutely loved this episode so much. I was a little disappointed. I don't know, when they announced what his name is, Grogu, I had this little thing in my head that was just like, it's got to be something that is like a Yoda, like a Yaddle, like that's just what his species names are. They're just like something. And then it ended up being Grogu, and I'm like, that's fine. It was a little bit weird what I was expecting anyway, but that was my only little bit of disappointment of that episode.
It left me with a lot of questions. The episode, I loved the episode also, but it left me with a lot of questions. That's
standard Mandalorian though at this point.
It is.
If you think you're gonna get a big answer without getting a dozen more questions, you're fucked.
It definitely left me with a lot of questions, and I really appreciated watching it. And the more that you look at Grogu, you see a lot of mannerisms of Yoda in him, which I thought was cool as well. Even like some of the mouth movements. But I really I'm just curious about a lot of things now. I know that they have alluded to how old he is, but he's also non-vocal, which I have questions about. And I know that, Ahsoka speaks to how they communicate, but there's, was he vocal before and then went non-vocal when she said that he kind of retreated within himself and, hid the Force, powers and all that? Or is it one of those things where he is non-vocal now and will learn to speak because he's young? So lots of questions.
I think he's going to speak in the last episode of this season.
Just going to say shit.
He'd be like, fuck, man.
Credits roll.
I do. The one bummer thing, though, about all this is, now I feel like I have to watch that cartoon, and I don't want to fucking have to watch anything other than The Simpsons,
Yeah, if you're going to catch up in a year.
Yeah, dude. How heartbroken were you starting to get when the thought or the realization was that he might be leaving Din Djarin?
Jen was very unhappy, and she was getting mad at me about it. Like, I wrote the fucking show.
Oh, you too, huh?
Yeah, I forgot. You're watching with a woman now too. Shit's frustrating. It's like I know I'm your go-to Star Wars person for a lot of these basic questions, but I can't
Really?
do how this show's gonna go.
Yeah, I have not seen this yet.
Yeah,
I am not The Simpsons. I don't think the future.
I keep telling her I've seen what you've seen. Like, that's.
You are caught up like I am caught up.
But yeah, I feel there's so much stuff that they sprinkle in that I know enough about the other, the non-movie stuff to know it's a reference, but I don't fucking know the reference, and I'm like, fuck.
Hey man, I'm in the same boat.
I wish I knew a little less though. I wish I knew it wasn't a reference, and I could just be like, cool, they're just making up all this cool shit, and I don't have to look anything up. That'd be real nice.
Ignorance is bliss.
Fuck, I had to go look up the Darksaber again because I didn't know what the fuck that was. They make, you had the blatant reference to it at the end of season 1, but that went over my head. Didn't really know about it until season 2 and had to go look that up and went, oh shit, that's right. But they saw that. I saw that in the first season for a glimpse there.
See, this is where combining all of the Star Wars stuff really helps out. Having watched all of the Clone Wars and all of the cartoon stuff, and having watched all the movies and all that really does pay off here.
So Clone Wars would be the only thing I need to watch, right? To really, isn't that its biggest pull?
I would have to say, in my limited experience, before Cody answers this, I would have to say yes, and that's one of the reasons why is because it's one of the producers on the show, if I recall right, on Mandalorian, actually worked as a producer on Rebels? No, he's
So-
shaking his head.
Dave Filoni is the creator of the Clone Wars cartoon, and the Rebels cartoon. Is the creator of Ahsoka Tano, as well as many other characters, including Bo-Katan, and all of her kin. He's the one that also directed this episode, which is the reason why. But also, if you look at the first episode of season 1, so chapter 1, chapter 5, and this one, he directed all of them, and they're all Western based. They're all gunslinger type episodes. Chapter 5 is literally called The Gunslinger, and obviously the first episode, the child, is very much so a Western style type thing. But he is the creator of Ahsoka Tano, the Clone Wars cartoon, and Star Wars Rebels. And to answer your question, Mike, is if you want the full story of Ahsoka without having to read anything, including comic books and books, because she does have a very, very, very good novel of her own, you would have to watch both Clone Wars and Rebels, because she comes back in Rebels and
in a big way,
in a very large way, and it leads into what she's talking about in this episode.
And I just read the book to avoid that.
Nope.
No, the book takes place before the events of her appearance in Rebels.
If you had to pick one, show or book, which one would you pick?
So one show, or the book?
Yeah.
So you're saying Clone Wars, Rebels, or the book?
Yeah, I'm only gonna consume one of those.
I would say it's Clone Wars then.
Yeah, the only thing the book is going to tell you is what she's been specifically doing in that time.
Queen, yeah.
Where she gets the lightsabers she does have, why she doesn't have her original lightsabers. That's the only thing the book is going to tell you. The Clone Wars is going to tell you a little bit more of her story itself. Rebels is going to tell you her link to that episode and what she's talking about in that episode, and that's it.
All right.
So Clone Wars.
Because I care a lot more about this character, knowing that we have a good chance that we're getting Rosario Dawson playing her in a TV show.
Yes.
Like, I'm way more in now than I ever was before. I was like, she looks cool. Like, I've seen clips, and I've seen like little bits and pieces of her. But like Rosario Dawson, I was like, I'm in. I better learn about this broad.
She does a great job.
Dave Filoni is listed as a producer on The Mandalorian.
He's also the director of 3 episodes, I believe now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's producer on The Mandalorian. But I said he created the Clone Wars and Rebels,
Right.
and directed a couple of episodes of The Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he meant to tell you you're wrong, Joe. He was just adding on to
Yeah.
his credentials.
And he's also one of the X-wing pilots in the second in chapter 2, as well as the prison one from chapter or from season 1.
2.
No, season 1. Actually, was that what episode was that? Or whatever. He's one of the X-wing pilots along with the Asian guy.
That was 2 episodes. We're on what? We're on 12 right now.
13 comes out in a few hours.
So I think it would be 10 and 11. No, 9 and 10.
What are you talking about?
That he was in at the X-wing pilots, because he shows up the same X-wing.
So Dave Filoni's character only shows up in episode
and then
10.
in the Metal Spider ones.
Yeah, it's the same episode because they fly him in and then he crash lands and they go to him. The
Right.
other pilot shows up in the other episode when he's back on Navarin. Is that the name of that planet? With fucking everybody back on it again. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So Dave Filoni is the other X-wing pilot other than the Asian guy from Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it was an awesome episode, and I want so much more. But I just know that we only have, 3 episodes left.
Unless they surprise you with a bonus episode. You could do that.
Oh, yeah. Any guesses on if we're going to see another Jedi this season, or who it might be? Because they make reference to them. Their next destination is I'm spacing out on it right now. Is like some Jedi temple.
Right.
They put Grogu on the top of the temple, and he's supposed to choose between one to be trained
The
by
Force
Jedi.
or not.
Yeah.
So
if he does,
I mean
who at this time would respond to that?
Well, she said maybe a Jedi will seek him out.
Well,
Right.
the thing is,
I'm totally leaning towards the position that somebody would to further the plot along. If they would, who would it be?
it's Luke Skywalker.
That's what I would assume too.
Because we're in that time frame where he's rebuilding the Jedi Order,
That's
and
right.
he's gathering Jedi from all over, and he's searching for them, which means, and Ahsoka probably knows this because she's probably either met with him or can sense him, because he's one of the most powerful Jedi or Force users ever to exist until he blocked itself out and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but this is the time frame because this is before... Well, we don't really know yet because we don't know the timeline just
We
yet.
know it really sits between episode 6 and 7.
Exactly. And during that time frame is when he started rebuilding the Jedi, and that's when Ben Solo was in that. So not only could he eventually meet up with him, that means we may know his fate as well.
How much older does that make Ahsoka than Luke?
Well, she was...
Given that she is pre-episode 6.
Well, she was at least 18 years old
4, right?
in the Clone Wars, if not older than that, because she has already gone through Jedi training.
Right, she was a teenager
Yeah,
at the beginning of the Clone Wars.
exactly. But in Rebels, she was in her 20s because that's another 7 years after all of that happened, because that actually leads into part of Rogue One, is because some of the characters from Rebels are mentioned in, and you see the ship, you see Ghost in Rogue One, and Rebels is about them building the rebellion that is part of the original trilogy. It's all one big ass line. Sort of, because if Taj knows what I mean, there's some skullduggery in the timeline, if you know what I mean.
Little muddling.
Yeah, as one does with timelines. But yeah, anyways, that's all I wanted to know. If you guys liked it or not.
Loved it.
And Mike had stupid questions he wanted to ask about knowledge of stuff. But yeah, no, check it out. It's fun times. And I'm sure we'll talk about more of it next week.
As long as everybody's caught up.
I'll watch this weekend. And you're definitely talking about me, so I'll own it. I'll watch this weekend.
Oh, we're talking about Mike too.
Nah, Mandalorian I stay up on.
Mike stays up on.
Else that's new.
Mike goes to work late on Friday mornings because of it.
Ha, Mike just go to work sometime.
He's like,
I'm on the clock right now.
I have the Rona.
I am mentally checked out and damn near physically checked out.
Hashtag same. Yeah, anyhow, that's all I got.
We did not open the show at all.
What show? Oh shit, should I have been recording?
This is a show?
Whoops.
Just kidding, I was
All right.
recording.
Shut her down.
Comes naturally, we are.
Joe.
Mike.
I'm Cody, we were joined by...
Die.
That's it, fuckers, use came naturally.
Bitches.
Bitch, wow, that's not nice.